Cameron here, and today I wanted to talk about everyone's favorite running gag on Twitter, or football Twitter, I should say. Is it zone or is it duo? Now, while it can be an amusing joke at times, I did realize the other day a lot of people may not actually understand the differences. So, I wanted to clarify that. Alright, so the first thing to understand about zone is that each offensive lineman is responsible for their play side gap defender. Okay? Whichever defender is responsible for your play side gap, that's ultimately who you're responsible for blocking. Okay? So for this tackle, that's the end. For this guard, that's the tackle. For this center, it's the Mike, since he's ultimately going to be responsible for that A gap. For the nose, for the guard, it's going to be the nose. And of course, the only exception is the end man on the line of scrimmage to the backside. And what he's going to do is he's going to step play side just like everybody else in order to seal off that B gap in case any other defender out there might be coming for it. And then he's going to step and he's going to hinge to seal off the backside end, at least if it's not in zone read. Okay. The next thing we got to cover is the so-called covered and uncovered lineman. All right. Covered means your play side gap defender is on the line of scrimmage. Notice I didn't say defensive lineman. I said the play side gap defender is on the line of scrimmage. So for this tackle and this guard, quite obviously, their play side gap defenders are on the line of scrimmage. For this center, at least right now, he's uncovered. Okay? But if this Mike were to walk up here to the A gap, he's now covered. Doesn't matter whether or not the Mike's not a defensive lineman, he's in your play side gap. Okay, that's it. And then guard, of course, he's covered. And if, again, the exception is the backside guy at the end of the line of scrimmage. And we just consider him to be his own special rule, except for if it's on zone read. Then it goes back to pretty normal rules at that point. All right. So everybody involved here, first step, it's going to be the play side, because again, you're responsible for play side gap defender. Now, you go to the first uncovered man, maybe the only uncovered man, and what he is going to do with the backside guy to his backside, is he is going to work a combo block. Not a double team, a combo block. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, these two guys are going to be responsible for these two defenders. Okay? Right? The whole rationale here is that if the center immediately went up to the mic, he released immediately off to the mic, he's putting his backside guard in bad position. He's completely vacating the space. The nose has leverage on the guard, and the guard's going to have a heck of a time being able to seal that nose back in. So instead, they combo block. They start off with a double team, at least initially, for just a little bit, get a little bit of movement on the nose, create a little bit of space, help the guard be able to work play side, be able to seal off that nose before presumably the center is going to release off to the mic. But also, like I said, it's a combo block. It's these two guys on these two guys. So, if the defense wants to fight you and tell you that they've changed up assignments, take them at their word. If the nose is fighting very, very hard to work play side and the mic is rolling around backside, then you're going to switch. Center will take the nose, guard will take the mic. Simple. All right? That's what a combo block is. Duo, by contrast, is completely different in my book. So, what's going to happen is that these two individuals are going to double team this nose and completely ignore the mic. Why was it clear here? They're going to completely ignore the mic. They're going to execute a double team technique that's pretty much the same as on the front side of power or counter. And they're just going to drive this guy into oblivion, ignoring the mic altogether. It's the running back's job to make the mic wrong. Okay? So they're going to create some space this way, and if the mic wants to, let's say, roll play side, running back's going to work backside. Mike wants to roll over here, running back's going to go front side. That's essentially what it is. Now, since these two individuals are executing a double team, like on power, like on counter, This backside guard will not step with his play side foot first. Instead, he will step with his backside foot first. It's a short power gather step that he uses, load up before a second step, before he drives his arms into the nose. The two offensive linemen are essentially going to get hip to hip and drive that individual until the whistle tells them to stop. Before then, you just don't quit. You just keep driving that dude. I don't care if he's on the ground. You just keep going. At least that's, how I was taught. So that's a completely different setup in terms of zone, where essentially it's a 2-on-2 blocking scheme. So if you're looking to understand whether or not the particular play is zone or it's duo, there's two things I recommend you look for. The first is, does this individual right here, guy backside of the uncovered defender, does he step with his play side foot first? Because if he steps with his play side foot first, it's zone. If he steps with his backside foot first, that's duo. All right. The other thing to look for is, does one of these individuals release off to the linebacker? If they do, then it's zone. If they never release off to this second level defender here, then it's duo. Now, one of the things that can make these conversations somewhat confusing is that for many offensive coaches, they call what everyone else in the football world calls duo tight zone. So in their language, we call this tight zone, but it's essentially double teaming the nose, we're ignoring the mic. Running back's job is to make the mic roll. And they call that tight zone. To be distinguished from their mid zone or outside zone or something else like that, they're calling what essentially is duo tight zone. Okay? So that's where part of the confusion can come up sometimes, is that a coach says, oh yeah, we were running zone in that situation, but these two individuals were running a true double team and not a combo block. And so people get confused as to which is which. So as long as you understand that some offensive coaches will call duo a tight zone type play, I think you're going to be okay. As always, I hope you found this informative and enjoyable.